Hi guys. Okay, so we are on page 14. So there's 14 down here at the bottom. And the only tool I have is my hundreds chart. And I'm going to start by writing my name at the top, right up here. Okay. And we're going to jump right in. This is kind of fun. This is a game. I like it when they include little mysteries and games in here. So what you're going to start with doing is you're going to go through and you're going to solve all these problems in the blue box that has the airplane, okay? So you're just going to go through and you're going to say, what is 3 plus 5? Well, I know that 3, I can start with 3 and I can go up 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I'm at 8. So I can go and I want to just write an 8 right here, okay? And then just go through and solve all these problems, okay? That's step 1. Then, so let's solve this first row and I'll show you what you do. So 7 plus 6. Okay, well, I know 6 plus 6, right? Because we worked on our doubles last year, so we know our doubles, right? 6 plus 6 is 12, and 6 plus 7 is just one more. So one more than 12 is 13. So my answer is 13. Oh, my 3 doesn't want to come on here. Man, that's a sloppy 3, but that works. Okay, 8 plus 8, so I know my 8s, right? I know my doubles. 8 plus 8 is 16. All right, and then last one, 4 and 2 more, so 4, 5, 6. All right, so now what we do is, so anywhere that you see an 8 appear in this puzzle, you get to write the letter N. All right, so where do I see an 8? I see an 8 right here. So I'm going to write the letter N. All right, and then anywhere I see a 13, I get to write an E. So I get to take my 13 and I get to write the letter E. And then where I see a 16, I write the letter K. And then where I see a 6, I get to write the letter I. 6 is an I. All right. So that's how we're going to do this page is you're going to go through, you're going to solve these problems, then you're going to plug them in to where they go up here and try to figure out what the mystery saying is. Sometimes it's a joke, sometimes it's something silly, sometimes it's directions. We just don't know. So go through, solve the problems, and then plug them into the top, okay? So pause this, go through, solve the problems, and plug them into the top. And when you come back, we'll move on to number 5. Okay, so if you're back with me, then that means that you have solved all these blue and you have all your letters written up at the top, okay? Otherwise, you shouldn't be back with me yet. So you should have it paused still, okay? All right, we're going to jump down here to our apples, and it's asking us to circle the number that is the greatest, so the biggest, on each apple, okay? So we're going to look at the apple. This has a 16, a 23, and a 35. If I wasn't sure, I could go to my hundreds chart. I could go, okay, here's a 16, here's a 23, here's a 35. Which number is the greatest? That's 35. So I'm going to circle my 35, okay? And do the same thing here. I have an 8, I have a 24, and I have a 19. So which one is the biggest, the greatest, is going to be my 24. So I'm going to circle my 24. So you're going to do the same thing with all your apples. Just go ahead and do it real quick. Okay, so then we should be right here, and you should be on your number line. If you need a little bit more time to do those apples, push pause and then come back to us. Now down here, so last time we were together, we counted by tens and we had to go 10 more and 10 less. So this time what they did is they gave us all the tens, which is this column right over here, right? They gave us all of our tens and we're supposed to put them in order. So what's first is 10. So we're going to look at our numbers right here and see, is there a 10? Yes, there is. There's right here. And we're going to write 10 on the number line. So all you're doing here is putting these numbers in order based on the tens you have, okay? So this you definitely don't need my help with because you can just go to the next one, see if there's a 20. There is a 20, so we can put a 20 here. You guys can do this. You can write your tens in order. So you're just going to go 10, write the next one, write the next one. And you're going to end at 100. Okay? So go ahead and do that and then come back to me. All right, so if you're back to me, we're on this page, which is page 15, right here. You can see the 15 right here. We always start by putting our name at the top. Okay, and here we're doing what we did before. It's getting mixed up a little bit. Every time, remember I said enjoy those first pages because they were really easy and we just kind of went through them so fast. Now we're mixing up all the things that we've worked on over the last few weeks, and we're going to start combining some of these lessons. So the way this works is sometimes it teaches something new and sometimes it practices something we've learned. So now we're going to practice some more of what we've learned. So this last time it told us the numbers and we had to do it this time. So it's telling us 386. So over here, when I break that down, I can go 386, right? And I know that, so how many hundreds do I have? Well, in my hundreds, I have 3 hundreds, right? So I can write that I have 3 hundreds here. And then I can say, okay, how many tens do I have? Well, the next column over is my tens, right? I have 8 tens. And then how many ones do I have? I have 6 ones. So when I write that, that tells me I have 3 hundreds, I have 8 tens, and I have 6 ones. This is called expanded. I pulled it apart, okay? So I pulled this number apart to figure it out. So for these problems, we're going to do them together, but this is how we're going to do. We're going to break them apart like this, okay? So this number right here, I have 529, okay? So how many hundreds do I have? How many hundreds do I have? I have 5 hundreds, right? That's the first number, the furthest number to the left. I have 2 tens and I have 9 ones. So 5 hundreds, 2 tens, 9 ones. Okay, and why do I write it like this? 500. This is expanded form because really when I have this, see this 100 here? The number 500 is written like this, right? And the number 20 is written like this, and the number 9 is written like this. So when I break them down, there, you can see them. There, they're written like that. Okay, so this is a hundreds. This isn't just a 5. That's why it's labeled with the word hundreds. Okay, so when I read this number, I read 529. And 20, the word 20 means 2 tens. All right, let's try it again. Okay, 740. Okay, so I have 700, then I have 4 tens, and there's a 0 in my 1, so I have 0 ones. So when I go to write that, how many hundreds do I have? I have 7 hundreds. How many are in my tens? I have 4. How many are in my ones? I have 0. So 7 hundreds, 4 tens, 0 ones. All right. Okay, we're going to do the next one. I'm going to just sit here for a second quiet. You try to figure out if you can do this without me, and I'm going to work on filling it in, and you try to beat me. See if you know how to do this. Did you get that? Did you get the same answer as I did? Okay, we're going to go right here. And the number's 932. So 900s, 32. Okay. So how many hundreds? 9. How many tens? How many ones? Which is 932. Okay, the last one, why don't you try to do it by yourself, okay? So try to do this last one all by yourself. I'll write it over on this side just so you can see it again. Oops. Then you break it down right here. Okay. All right, and then let's move on to this last one. So if you need some more time, pause it and come back, okay? We're in no hurry. You can pause it and come back to us. If you're back to us, though, that means that you are ready to do the next section, number 2. And we're looking at our tens again, which we've already gone over this one many, many times. So we're just doing it again, right? So we know when we write 10 less and 10 more, they're going to end with a 0. And if we have a 2, 1 less is a 1. And we have a 2, 1 more is a 3. Okay? Here's your hundreds chart. Here our tens are marked. You need your hundreds chart. If you start at 90 and you go 10 less is 80. And 10 more is 100. So pause it and fill these in. You don't need me for this. Pause it and fill these in. All right, if you're back with us, that means you're ready to do this section right here, which is circle the number that's the least. Least means smallest. Less, the smallest number. So when I look at each kite, I have to decide which number is the smallest. Now for this one, the number in the tens column is the same. So the number on this kite, they all start with a 1. So you have to look at the ones place to decide what's smaller. So they all have a 10. How many ones do they have? This one has 3 ones. This one has 5 ones, and this one has 6 ones. So the smallest is 13. Now over here in the tens column, they all have 5s. So they all start with 5 tens, which means we have to look at the ones column to decide which one is the smallest. So what's the smallest? 4, 8, or 9? 4 is the smallest. Okay? This is lots of place value, talking about hundreds, tens, and ones. So here, what number do you see on all these numbers? What digit do we see? Every one has a 4 in the tens place. So we're just looking at this one has a 1, this one has a 2, and this one has a 7. Which one's smallest? 41, right? Because they all have 4s in the tens place. Okay, go ahead and do the yellow and purple kite by yourself. And then we'll come back and do this number 4 with us together. Man, I am tired today. Okay, pause, come back. Now, if you're with us, what this next section is asking us is it says, write the smallest 3-digit number possible. Okay, so what it's telling us is we get to use these number tiles, okay? And the number tiles are different for each number. So I'm going to say, I'm going to color this for us. This one's yellow. This one is going to be green. And this one is going to be blue. Okay, so we get to have 3 number tiles. And the numbers change each time. So first we get to work with a 6, a 1, and a 4. Okay, so these are the numbers we get to start with. And it's telling us to make the smallest number possible. So we're moving these numbers around into our chart to decide, how do I make the smallest number? Well, the way I make the smallest number is I put the smallest number that we have in the hundreds place. So which number is smaller, 6, 1, or 4? 1, right? So I'm going to take my 1 and I'm going to move it to the hundreds column. Now, what number is the smallest next? 6 or 4? 4. So I'm going to move my 4 to the tens column. And then I only have a 6 left, so I'm going to put that in the ones column. So what number did I make? I made 146. So I'm going to write that number right here, 146. Okay? You see that? So I took my number. This one's going to be different. I just am moving my box over. I took my number and I got to decide. So now if I was to delete these, okay, and we'll do it again. What number, we're trying to make the smallest number possible, right? So what's the smallest number here? An 8, a 3, or a 5? The 3 is the smallest. So we want that one the furthest to the left. So we're going to put that in the hundreds column. So we've already used up the 3. What's the next smallest number? The 5, right? So we're going to put a 5 in the tens column. And then we have an 8 left. So we're going to put an 8 in the ones column. So I just made the number 358. All right? Okay, so the next one, we're going to look at this number. If this number is not, these digits are not put together. So this number is not 250. That's just a 2, a 5, and a 0. Okay? So what's the smallest number here? 0. So I'm going to put a 0 first. What's the next smallest number I have here? The digit, smallest digit. 2. And then I have a 5. Okay? So what number did I make? Any hundreds? No. So what number did I make? I just made the number 25. So I just made the number 25. Okay? So you guys can do this. I'm going to do these last 2 with you, and then you're going to do the bottom row by yourself, okay? So this one, I have a, well, let's delete these real quick for us. So what number do I have first? What's the smallest number? 1. What's the next smallest number? 5. And what's the next smallest number? 9, right? So this one happened to be in order. So when I write on my number line, it's actually already in order, or on my little line here, it's already in order, but that just was a coincidence, okay? So this number is 159. All right, this time I'm not going to talk. I'm going to do the work. You see if you can beat me on doing this one right here. Okay, did you get 279? Did you guys figure that out? All right, go ahead and do this bottom section right here. And then I will see you next time. Bye, guys.